Yes, it's time. I'm John Zidar, and Taylor is behind the screen like the Wizard of Oz.
Yep,
Hello,
I'm here.
Taylor.
Hi.
Hiya. Glad to have you back. We missed you for a week, missed you for
Yep,
2 weeks. We had a holiday last week, so we missed everybody.
yep.
Any of you guys miss me? I know you miss Taylor. You've made those comments. Anybody miss me? Doesn't matter. You get me every bloody day. Tough to miss something you don't have leave. All right, folks, I see we've got a lot of stuff to look at today, and I'm excited about that, bringing up my comments. We got a lot of faces here I recognize and a couple here that are new. Looking through the names right now. Luke Farmboy, I don't know if I've seen your name before. CTXR, we're going to try to squeeze it in. It would be the last one we looked at. Taylor is confident we can do it. Actually, we both are. There's a couple stocks here. There's not a
Yeah, we
whole
can
lot
do
to
it.
say. Not a lot to say, but we're going to look at them anyways. Who else we got coming in here? Bold 10 coming in late, but you're on time. Can't say you're late. Scott, don't make me try to say that. Presbolinski. Got it, didn't I? I got it. Nailed that. All right, folks, we're going to jump into some stocks. I got two of these that came from Twitter today. People just asked me over there. Yes, I take requests wherever I get them. I'm just nice that way. Let me pull up my page here for us. Get us on the right one to start this all off. This one came. I've taken notes here because I don't want to forget you folks. RNVA came from TMPS, the Moving Picture Show. Follows me over there on YouTube. RNVA. Well, things are changing here right now. It seems to me Taylor and I were getting set up pre-show, and there was two more zeros on this price at that time.
Yeah.
There was two more zeros. It was way down there. So this is RNVA, Renova Health Inc. As you can see right now, she's on the basement floor. She's at 0001. You can't get a stock any cheaper than that on the open market. Even though it may be on the open market and you do see extra zeros, when you go to buy it, you will have to pay that price regardless of how many zeros are on it. So the price she and I saw, you'd be paying 10,000% more than the actual price that is on the market or off the market. So right now we're at 0001. It says here she hasn't made any movement. She probably bounced. I can't see it here. Taylor's going to tell us that part. Pink Limited, that means she is late on one or more of her financials. If they don't get them caught up in time, they get kicked off of the OTC. You think there's nowhere else to go? You can go down to the expert market. The expert market isn't a delisting, but it basically acts like it is. You can't trade your shares while you're down there, the company. And if you own stock and you go down with them, you can't trade either. That's half truth. You can sell, but the price is going to go down to like 50601s, and that's what you got to sell for. Who wants to sell $80 worth of stock for 0.8 cents? You're not going to do it. Once they get their filings caught up, they're back on the open market. When you get to the red line, you get this grace period. Grace period gives you 15 days, the company, to get those filings in, or you're out of here. But they don't tell you the date here. You got to come over here to quote, jump down here to proprietary quote eligibility, and it's right there. And over here, they tell you the actual date, which is the final date. It will be on the OTC. After that, they go down to the expert market. So considering that she is late, let's take a look at those financials. We have an NT 10K. NT means not filing. They're not filing their annual. They're not filing their quarterly. That's two of them. So they filed that in April. They finally told us they weren't going to file in April for December 2023. They're not filing for their first quarterly report for 2024. Those two are late. They got to get them in. The one thing that's real interesting here that jumps out at me now, I've known this company for quite a few years. I talked about it like 2 years ago, and they were buying up broke hospitals, supposed to be fixing them up or something, and they just went to the grave. It was looking horrible. Well, I don't know if they were doing this then or not, but this is 10Qs and 10Ks. Most pinks don't have SEC reporting. This is for transparency. This is great for us. It makes them more trustworthy. Most pinks give you disclosures. Their financials are just receipts tallied up by management and tossed at us. You got to figure out what's going on, and you can't because you don't have all the numbers. So this is actually a good thing, even though the company looks in pretty bad shape right now. So what did I come up with for this company? Well, that's that. Let me see. We have an 8K there. Is this 8K one that goes to the news? Yes. Yeah, that's why I brought up the news instead. This news came out on the 17th of June. The company has gotten into a deal with Foxo Technologies. This is a company on the market. Oh, doggone it. So we'll go from this point. Horrible. I've been having this problem with that popping up. So Renova Health has made a deal with Foxo Technologies, ticker FOXO. They are on the market. I think we've even talked about them before. They are transferring two of their subsidiaries, Myrtle Recovery Centers. They're doing this one for a total payment of about $500,000. Then they are also transferring over, where's that other one here? Dun, 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 dun. There it is. Renova Community Health, which they call Richie. This one's a little more expensive. That one is going for $20 million, and that's being done with preferred stock. So they do have money coming in. They are making deals, but we don't see a whole heck of a lot going on. I mean, things look like the boat's sinking right now. Loading the boat up with goodies right now probably isn't a great thing to do. Her relative volume today, wow, really a big drop from her average. Her average has been about 37.7 million a day for the last 30 days. Keep in mind, an average, there's a lot of numbers higher, there's a lot of numbers lower. That's just somewhere in the middle. Today, she's really low. Didn't even hit 5 million shares. And folks, at that price, 5 million shares is 5 sales. If you could buy it at 0001, you can get 1 million shares for $100. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Share structure for RNVA. God almighty. Look at that, folks. 40 billion shares in the outstanding share count. I don't know what the float is, but I'm going to presume it's going to be mega high. And this is screaming for a reverse stock split. They've got enough. If they needed to, they could probably kick this price up over $1. I mean, I swear to God, that's a ton of shares. But with all those shares multiplied by that itty bitty price, their market cap is only 4 million. Financials for the company. Well, they're making revenues. It's kind of up and down. 4 years ago, they were at 16 million. We got 3 zeros up here to plug in on any of these numbers on these charts. Dropped to 7, dropped to 3 in 2021 during COVID, and this stops in 2022. Right. We don't have 2023s. They're late on them. So that was only 13 million. Quarterlies, we get up to September of 2023. And at that time, they were hee-hawing around between 3 and 6 million, and they were on the low end here at 3.5, saying they were making money at that time. But we've had a lot of time go by now. What's that? Another 6 months, 9 months. Another 9 months have gone by. Doesn't look good for the company. We can only guess what's happening. They're not showing us the paperwork, so it can't be good. Balance sheet. Well, they got a little money in the bank, 123,000. They say they got about 20 million in assets, and they got more than double that in liabilities. So we're holding a pocket of liability here, deficit of about 27.5 million. I do believe that covers all the bad news and the good news for the company. Yeah, there's not a whole lot here, folks. So they're doing something. I mean, they're making deals. As I said, I have had my eye on this company for a while, and I'm sure Taylor can show you the long chart, but I don't remember this company ever being great. I think for one moment, 3 years ago, something made me look at her, and ever since then, I think it's been a poor pot. But we're going to let Taylor show us that part. Go ahead.
Well, there's really nothing to say. You're looking at it right here at the very top. This is your 0001. So this is 0001. Down here, it's 5 zeros and a 1 way down here. So this is the I believe this is the only price you can buy it if it's way down here,
Yeah.
0001. So this is the top of it. We're going back to late January of this year. It hasn't even broken it.
How far back can you take your chart?
Well, it bumped up first week of January a little
How about,
bit.
can you go 3 years?
Sure. Well, it started 2021, early 2021. We had 2 stock splits. one for 1,000 in July of 2021, and one for 10,000 in March of 2022.
Imagine what the share count must have been if it's at
Yeah.
40 billion right now. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
look, it's right there.
And it looks like the price hasn't moved basically ever since it came on the market.
Right. I mean, it was way up here, but that's not accurate. Well, no, wait, this was after the stock split. But before the stock split, I mean, it's probably way up here. Yeah, look at this. But this is right after that stock split. So,
Yeah. So it doesn't look like
so
she's done anything in all the
basically,
time.
this is what you're looking at. This is the daily chart from May of 2022 until the present day.
So if you're looking for a long hold, folks, I think we found one.
I mean, but you're going to be getting in right here. So if it goes all the way to the floor, which is like, 5 zeros and a 1, it's going to look like you lost what, 1,000% or almost 100%, 90 something percent, almost the whole thing, because you can't
Yeah.
buy in any lower than that. The 0001.
I don't see why anybody would be interested in this. It shows no history of ever giving away anything to anybody. And the company has so many shares and keeps reverse splitting to pull those shares back in to put it. They're the only ones making money off of us.
It's just nothing to, you can't buy in. And
no, we are supporting this company. So if you haven't made any money, I'd find a way to get something out of this, or just put it on the back burner for another decade and see what happens, because I don't see any hope in that chart.
Yeah, I don't either. So
we're going to move on to the next one, folks. Ala Vista. All right, let's see here. We have one coming in at CWPE. This came in from Thebes 118. All right, the CWPE, I am unfamiliar with it, and there's not a lot of information to share here. I tried to dig up as much as I could. I went to their Twitter account to even get some information. They got a beautiful Twitter account, but there's no news. It's just general information about how great their products are and how the world needs their products and how they can help the world. That's what you get over there. CWPE is CW Petroleum Corp. She finished today at 8.3 cents. Had a bad day. She fell 37%. She is on the QB now. She just uplisted in June to the QB. Oh, and she's got all the green ticks we could hope for. This is a good stock. You've got a verified profile and a transfer agent, which are the two that you want to see on every stock, especially your pinks. It's the only verified information you get. We have also got independent directors listed here. You need those when you uplist. They just did it, so I'm presuming that's what it was for there. They could be thinking about going up further, but I haven't read that. Then you got penny stock exempt, which is a big bonus, folks. The stock is 8 cents. It's on the OTC market, but it is not considered a penny stock by the market community because it doesn't act like a penny stock. It's not risky. It's not a startup company. The definition of penny stock exempt is that you've been in business for 3 to 5 years. You've either had assets or revenues in excess of $1 million, and you've kept up with your filings and financials. In other words, you've proved yourself to be responsible. So even though you're a 14-year-old kid, you've got your independence to be an adult because you're taking care of yourself properly. This is not a penny stock, so I guess we can't look at it. All right, moving on to the next. I'm kidding. So what does this company do? Well, this is about all we really get. CW Petroleum Corp supplies and distributes biodiesel, biodiesel blends, renewable gasoline, and 92-octane reformulated no ethanol gasoline to distributors, convenience stores, marinas, and end users. I heard him mention 7-Eleven in one of their filings. I didn't get a whole lot of information, but I did see him mention it. CW Petroleum Corp is licensed to distribute diesel fuel and gasoline by the states of Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, California, Colorado, New Jersey, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. And maybe your state will be next. What else did I grab up? As I said, there was not much here. What did I come over here for? It seems to me I read, yeah, right, okay. These don't look to be audited reports. I don't think these are audited. I thought I read somewhere that they were working on getting their, I got a third one here. No, that's the one I opened. Getting their attorney letter. With annual reports, you normally need an attorney letter. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Why did I bring this over here? 1K, that's 429. See what I mean? I was having a very hard time finding information on this one. What did I say over here? Not much info. Twitter is general information. Hard to DD. Yes, I've said all that. So there really is not a lot of information here, except that they're a solid company. They've got all their credentials, if you will. They're in good standing order as far as I can see. I don't see any problems. They seem to be doing business. I was reading that when you jump into their filing, it says that they have no operations of their own. They say they're a holdings company. Well, holdings companies don't have any operations of their own. It's the companies they own, the subsidiaries that do all the work. So it sounds a little tricky. And they say their basic operations are sending out trucks, picking up fuel, and delivering the fuel. That's what they do to convenience stores, distributors, commercial operators, and stuff like that. So obviously they're in business, though we don't see any news here about contracts. They say they get most of their business from 7 primary contracts, 7 customers. And as I said, 7-Eleven was listed there, but they were saying customers that were not franchise conglomerates. So maybe they've got a couple of those as well. So what was the relative volume around the company today? Well, that's a big increase. That's over 300% increase on the volume. She was doing less than 1,000 shares a day for the last 30 days. Thank God some of those numbers have to be higher on the averages. Today, she was at 3.2 thousand shares. Folks, that's probably one purchase.
I was going to say that's a low volume, but then you said it's 3 times what it normally is. I'm like, okay. Or 3 times what it was before. All right.
Yes, relatively speaking.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm just trying to put a little frosting on an ugly cake.
Okay, we're good.
Outstanding share count isn't all that bad. We're at 122 million. That's pretty standard. Restricted shares, that's what the insiders own. Well, that's a ton of them compared to how many are out there. So we are left with basically a low float. A legitimate low float starts at 10 million. Look, folks, anything under 100 million is a decent float. You start getting under 25 million, you're into the low float zone. The problem is on the OTC, we just don't get a lot of volume. We don't get a lot of volume, so there's just not a lot of extra push on this stuff. So a small float does help. Market cap for the company, 6.2 million. This company making money? Yes, they are, and they're hovering between 7 and 9 million, bringing in steady profits. Nothing to brag about or write home about. Uh-oh. What happened there? We don't have their last filing for 2023. Where's any for 2024? Now, just because you're penny stock exempt doesn't get you off the hook for filing. You still got to do all that. And for being such a responsible company, I'm a little confused here why they don't have financials here. Take a look at that balance sheet. I got about $500,000 in the bank, 1 million in assets, and about 894 in liabilities. So we're holding about that much stockholder equity, $138,000. Not much. What do we got over here? We already looked over here. Right. See, I'm going in circles because there's just nothing to talk about. And I tried to go to their website earlier. It said it was under maintenance. Well, it's not under maintenance now. There you go. But basically, there's not a whole heck of a lot of information here. You can get their locations. So if you want more info, come on over here. You're probably going to get something here. But outside of that, folks, I don't have anything more to offer. Maybe Taylor can shed some light on this.
Oh, wait. Yep, I can sort of. Kind of. It's not looking good currently. So what I have
the chart.
Well, here it is. So this is just a rough support that I've noticed. This is the daily, but I had it on the 4 hour a second ago. It's pretty rough, but it's around 7.5 to 8 cents. That seems to be like a support area we've picked up every time we've gotten to that level. I am on Heikin-Ashi candles, but it's looking very strange. Whoops, sorry.
Wow. What was that?
Regular I didn't need to. So there's all kinds of different candle that you can look at. There's bars, candles, hollow candles, all those stuff. Anyway, my fault. So we have gone up here. This was back in October. We reached like 90 cents, but since then I kind of noticed this was a little bit of a resistance area, but it did not hold as support at all, not even close. It didn't even come back up to it. That's at about 45 cents. So we're back down here to where this like pickup area is, this kind of like rough support around
Mhm.
7.5, 8.5 cents. So right now we're at about 9 cents, 9.5 cents. If we zoom into the 1 hour, it's not looking much different. Um, Everything is, all these EMAs are lined up as a bearish look. You can see we've been hitting this lower support line several times. The volume, even with this big spike in volume this day, and this is relatively big. I believe it was 65,000 this day. But it really didn't spike up that much. We only reached a high of about 18 cents, which is right at this looks like this current um, resistance line, because we've hit it several times. You can see that, but it's not holding. It's not moving above. It's not.
What's that buy zone you got? What's the price down
It's
there?
around like between 7.5 to 8.5 cents.
All right, so there's not enough there to scrape on those bounces. That's just for,
No, not really.
right.
No, I mean it could be if it comes all the way back up to this latest resistance area, but it's
Not on the
really not.
OTC with those fees. You just give away all your.
Right. It's not it's not doing it consistently, and then look right now it's looking really bearish. I
I
mean,
agree.
we're looking at lower lows
Yep.
here and here. So
And
I
all your
mean,
trend lines are on top of her head, pushing her
yes,
underwater.
correct. So
Yes.
I don't really love this, but that's about it for that one because we got some more to cover.
Amen, sister. We are now looking at IDVV. This came from Belmore. I think Belmore was at my very first live show. Probably the only person out there. Bless your heart. So we're looking at International Endeavors Corporation. She finished today. Not a bad price. 00085. I normally won't look at a 000 stock until it hits 5. They just don't move fast enough. They don't move far enough for a day trader. Up at this zone, you can get some punches through the 00 zones when it starts to get exciting. She was up 13% today. She's looking valid. She's all pink. No problems here. Got all her validated information. Best stock we've looked at so far. So this is a company out of California. What are they about? Let me see. They're engaged in locating, acquiring, and partnering with established companies, brands, and technologies, particularly in artificial intelligence. I bet they just updated that. The company has developed a bot technology and automated processes related to crypto. It sells or licenses these technologies. So getting a better description of the company, I dove into their financial and I found this halfway down. International Endeavors is engaged in locating, acquiring, and partnering with established companies. In addition, the company has sold its CBD and peripheral businesses associated with CBD, so they're out of that, in exchange for revenue share. The company has a wholly owned subsidiary, YTech, that is focused on several AI and automation products in the areas of marketing, financial, professional, and the medical and legal services. The company is developing AI technology also for real estate investing and is involved with fix and flip properties in the United States. Now, that's pretty broad here. They're covering a lot of markets. When you go to the news, they start to narrow that down for us. First piece of news here, in January of this year, they took away 550 million shares. That's a lot of shares, but they still got a lot of shares, as I'm going to show you. The other piece of news came out February 21st. It's old, but we need to look at it. The company's focused on several action items, including solidifying YTech AI as the main holding company, eliminating costs, and expanding its product offerings while preparing for acquisitions. YTech's main product and service is a customizable AI bot that uses technology developed by YTech. This product has been a success, and we anticipate revenue from sales and licensing of this technology. Anticipate. Maybe they kicked it off since February. Not sure. They didn't give us any more news. IEC, that is International Endeavors, is in final negotiations to enter a letter of intent to acquire a company focused on using AI in adult markets. Are we talking porn? Are we? know porn gets all the good stuff
What
way
it sounds
before
like.
anybody else. When the walls came down in Russia, the mafia and porn were in there before the churches were. They move fast. No, they're not. They're not talking about porn. They're talking about betting, sports betting. They go into a lot of the things right now. They have passed a law in this country that is about pass. I can't remember what pass stands for, but gambling on sports has been illegal in this country for a long, long time. Well, they've now set it down to the states, just like cannabis. Each state can vote if they want gambling legal, and it can be any way they want, online, brick and mortar, whatever. They have a right to say yes and no, and to what extremes. Well, every state doing this is making taxes, just like they're making off of cannabis. So this market is opening up big right now. So that's what they are focused in on. So what was the relative volume around the company today? Try again. Oh, that's a huge drop. She did about a little over 1/4 her normal volume, going from about 9 million down to 1.9 million. Share structure for the company. Quit arguing with me. Go. What was that? That's not what I asked for. Holy cannoli. Try it again. There we go. Thanks for bearing with me, folks. Technical issues. No, not a brain fart. It's a digital fart. You can't smell it. I can. We have got 1.3 billion outstanding shares, folks. Told you there was a lot of shares. They took off 550 million off of that. Insiders own quite a lot of it, 393 million. We get just under a billion shares. Market cap right now, geez, all them shares and all we got is 1 million in the market cap. Financials, IDV is not making a whole lot of money. We had a wild year here. I'm not quite sure what happened there. They got to keep all the money, $1.5 million. Otherwise, they're not even making $100,000 and they're not getting to keep very much of that. Well, I mean, they are, but relatively speaking, it's all very low. They're not making any headway. They're not growing. Balance sheet. We got 26,000 in the bank, 1.1 million assets. Total liabilities is less, about 1/3. So we've got just under $1 million in stockholder equity, which is something. I don't think there's any more disclosures over here. Nothing since 2017. It's kind of strange. And all of their financials are up in order here. Their last one came out 5/15. So if you want to get some information, some more details, dive into that financial I was in. They're pretty easy to read. And if you really want to just see what's going on now and not read all the history, just put in 2024 into your search bar. Anything with that date will come up and you can see what's happened this year without having to read all the rest of that stuff. All right, Taylor, show us the charts, please.
Okay, so I marked off a few levels. This one, we've looked at this before, but I didn't mark the date. But this line was already here, which is interesting because it's been respecting it pretty well until recently, which is good if you're bullish on this. So I marked off the floor, which is 0003, it looks like. And then this is 0006, which was already marked off. It was support and then resistance. And resistance, 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 a little bit of support, resistance, and now we've completely broken through that, and we have been able to hold. And this is the 4-hour chart, by the way. And it looks like the very top of these candles, these wicks, looks like it's at 001, which is your favorite level. So we've reached it, but we haven't quite broken it. So I would say that would be the next one, the next level that I would be looking to break and hold, because we have done that before a few times. And up here, especially, this was back at the end of the year and the beginning of this year. So this was December 2023, January 2024. So we definitely have the ability to get back up there. Looks like, but we're just going to have more volume.
That's not a bad chart. You know, down in that low
bad
area for a 000 stock, it doesn't look barcode-y, does it?
No, it doesn't. That's why I'm marking off levels and I'm not calling it barcode-y.
I'm liking this chart. She looks like she's settled. She's pulled back like she needed to. That was a rip. She's pulled back onto the 20, and I think she's thinking about moving to that 00 zone.
Yeah, so whatever happened at the 1st of July, that's what really started this going here. I mean, because we went from 0005 all the way up to a very high of 001. So that's a 100% gain right there if you were to get out on the very, very top, which, we came back down. So this is like a healthy pullback, came right back up. So it kind of looks like a little bull flag here. If we go into the 1 hour, we do pull back, but we come right back up. Now we're kind of in the middle of that. It's almost like if you do the fibs, it would be around the 50%.
We have nothing official out on that big day, that 6th, you said?
It was the 1st, July 1st.
We didn't have anything since May or February. We haven't had anything.
Yeah.
Unless there was a tweet or something. I don't know what got it.
There
to
must
run,
have been something, yeah, because this is like a
Sweet.
huge spike in volume. You can see the bars just relative to everything else. Look how much volume we had that day compared to all these other
And
days.
it's pulled more volume in. It's fallen a lot, but you can see we now have more volume since then than we did before.
Right. So if we go down to the 50,
definitely worth putting on your watch list. I'm liking the way she's moving.
mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the 15-minute. Looks like it caught support around this 0007 right here, because it came right to, and that just happened to be the 200. That was earlier. That was yesterday. This is the 15-minute chart, by the way. And so I'll just mark that off real quick. So there we go. It doesn't look bad. Looks like it's really trying to break through this, which I would really like. And then maybe we can hold above that and keep going. I don't know. So that's what I'm seeing on this one. I don't mind it. I kind of like it, actually.
Yeah. I was worried about her just picking up a new trend up there. It looks like she's bouncing. It could just go sideways, but I like
go sideways for a while. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's what triples do. That's why I pretty much avoid them. They move up a tier and then go sideways for a long time. Move up a tier and go sideways. They really need catalysts to get them moving. But this is moving. It's definitely worth putting on your watch list. She's at a nice price.
Yeah, for sure.
Checking out our next one here. This is Holo. Holo came from Brian. Thank you, Brian, for Holo. Micro Cloud Hologram. Holo finished today at 66 cents, up a little bit, 3.9%. She's on the NASDAQ. Yay, we got a stock not on the OTC. You got to love penny stocks not on the OTC, folks, because there's advantages. First off, they're free to trade. You don't have to pay to get in and get out, which means you can scale in and scale out without getting broke. You can buy multiple purchases in both directions or sell multiples. Also, there's a lot more volume and money on the major exchange by a huge, huge margin. Plus, there's a lot of more rules up there. You're not going to get taken by most of these companies. They've got to answer up to a lot of people watching over them, so that we're not going to get the wool pulled over our eyes. And last but not least, aftermarket and pre-market hours. Folks, in case you're not paying attention, there are some huge runners, pre-market and aftermarket. I just put out a video last week about news that comes out after the bell. Stick around from 4 o'clock to 4:30. 9 out of 10 stocks that have any news. I don't care if it's our financials came out. We just hired a new employee. We just invented a new energy source. The stocks run. And they run fast because most investors are gone. The algorithms have changed. The opposition is gone. People that are pushing the stock down. So these are running in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. They're going 20, 40, 50, 100% gains. Some stay up, some come down. Stick around after market, folks. Go to the news, catch a piece of news and move fast. See if you can make some money there. You can't do that with OTC. So what is Micro Cloud about? Holograms. In every which way you can possibly think. We can't even cover. They've got a big description here trying to tell you. I've come over to their website. They've got a lot of information over here too, but just to give you a bit of insight, they've got holographic intelligent vision, which includes face recognition. They can use holograms, take a hologram of your face and lay it over your face, and they can tell if it's really you. They can do that with machine recognition, object and scene recognition, letters and documents, all this sort of stuff. They also have holographic data collection, holographic virtual space construction, digital content, stuff like this, where it's just in the air and we see it in the movies now. Well, that's reality. We are coming into that right now. They also have holographic LiDAR. LiDAR is what everybody is putting in cars to make them autonomous so that they can drive. That's their vision. LiDAR can use sonar, radar, all sorts of stuff, including holograms. They've got that. Then they've got digital twin technology. From what I understand, I'm sure there's a lot more to it than what I've grasped. Say you have a blueprint of a building that you're making and you get a plot of land. You start building on it. Well, you can take your tablet and look at that plot of land and it will overlay a hologram perfectly, exactly as if it was really there, not moving, on top of what you're building. So you can see how it's working out. You can walk around the building. You can go in a helicopter and look down, and it's going to show you this thing from all directions as if it was already there, see-through, clear. So they've got lots of different things that they can do with this hologram stuff. Now, I could find no current news. There was no news over at the OTC. I had to go searching for stuff to share with you. And I hate not having anything. So I found this. This came out in December of 2023. MicroCloud has announced that its subsidiary is providing CMS for China's largest new energy vehicle company. As of October 2023, the Chinese new energy vehicle company has sold over 2.3 million cars globally, reaching more than 400 cities across 70 countries and regions. MicroCloud Hologram offers services such as LiDAR solutions and 3D holographic technologies that they can make use of. They don't give us a whole lot of information about money or anything like that. We just see they've made a deal with a company in China is the biggest new energy vehicle company. So there should be some potential there for some revenues coming in at some point in time. Got one more here. Yeah, this is one of the filings. Weren't a lot of filings to consider, but this one came out May 28th. They were getting $28 million from an unsecured promissory note, and they break down all the information of those details. If you're really hungry for it, it's sitting here for you. So what was the relative volume around Holo today? Close. She's normally doing 18.8 million shares a day over the last 30 days. Today she did about 16 million. Share structure. Oh yeah, we've got ourselves a great super duper low float. She is under 10 million, half of that, 5 million, and that's not even the float. That's the outstanding share count. I don't know what the float is. Tell me how many the insiders own, and I can give you a better guess, but it doesn't matter. It could be considerably less, but if that's what it is, 5 million, I'm super duper happy with that. That's great. Now, just out of curiosity, because I forget, what was the volume today? Whoa, 16 million, folks, and she's only got 5 million shares. How many times does 5 million go into 16 million? 3. That means these shares had to sell 3 times over today. 3 times over. And if people start hoarding those shares and not wanting to sell them, now there's fewer and fewer of them. You could get yourself a supply squeeze. Not a short squeeze, a supply squeeze. There's not enough shares to go around, but you need a catalyst. You got to give them a reason to want the shares. Then all of a sudden that happens. Market cap for the company, we're at 3.2 million. This thing ain't clicking right. What a pain. Financials. Oh, all over the place, right? 56 million and during COVID, 2022, 70 million. Wow. Big drop in 2023, all the way down to 28 million. Good news is they're bringing home some steady profits. They did make 10.5 million in 2023, but that's a huge drop from the years before. Quarterlies. Oh, that's looking horrible. All right, wait a minute. This is September 2022. We don't even have any 2023s here. All right, so I'm not going to even look at those, folks. And I'm not surprised. I'm not saying they're in any trouble because this is the NASDAQ. There's a lot of different ways they can file up there, and we are on the otcmarkets.com website. They do carry every single stock, but you can find gaps in information for one reason or the other. I always like to jump over to Yahoo Finance to fill in those gaps just to see if we're missing something here that I should be able to see. Take a look at that balance sheet. Ooh, lots of money in the bank. 17 million, almost 18 million. Most of that is included in their total assets of 22 million. All liabilities is way low. That's sweet. We're down here at 2.7 million. So we got about 20 million in stockholder equity. I'm so used to saying deficit. That's good for us. Disclosures, I do believe I covered them all. 424B5, I think that's the shares. That is the shares. 6K, that's going to be about the shares as well, right? Yep, that's about the shares as well, just written up in a different way. And then another 424, still talking about that promissory note and those shares. So that covers all the information for Holo. The best thing I see there is that tidbit of news we got from October. I mean, yeah, that was old news, but that just got started, which means it's probably in full swing now. They've got all the things in place, probably starting to install these things. Hopefully, we start seeing some revenues come in. That's the big deal about that, right? And we need some revenues. All right, Taylor.
Craziness. Okay, so this is wild. I'm just gonna go back to what was going on before. We've obviously looked at this before because all of this I had already drawn except for this low line here. So after this reverse split, which was in February of this year, 1 for 10, it shot all the way up to, if you can believe it, over $100. So that was accurate.
That's accurate.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
So that is accurate because I just looked it up as well. Because of the high, I believe, let me look real quick, was the 52-week high was $113. The 52-week low is 55 cents. I am not even teasing, and this was after this happened in February of 2024.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So it might have been way back here, but this shot way up. I mean, way up. I mean, it was at least $50. I can tell you that. That is accurate. It might have been $100 way back here, but it was over $50 here.
That'd be worth some due diligence. Find out what the heck made it do that.
Yes, and that was a few days after the reverse split. So what ended up happening was I marked this off. So I guess I was saying that this was some kind of support, or we needed to keep it here, or we're going to lose this, or whatever. Ever since then, when this box was highlighted, because I highlighted all this, it just has fallen and fallen and fallen. It's been trying. It would reach, this is the 4-hour chart. It would come back up here to the 50 EMA at 50, above the 50 up to the 200, and then we have this line here at $1.74, it looks like, or $1.70. That line was already there. So I might have drawn that later on, but I don't, maybe it was before I started marking off the dates. But anyway, this was support and resistance for a while, and then we lost that in June. And now we are way down here. The all-time low, or the 52-week low, is 55 cents. And now we're way down here. This looks like a bear flag on the 4-hour, not good. Obviously, let's go down to the 1-hour, see what's going on. I mean, the 1-hour looks like, oh yeah, it's gonna reverse, but I don't love this. Yeah,
the big drop there came because they had been notified by NASDAQ they were out of compliance.
Talking
and
about
the
this
big
one.
Run, that big drop. And they said that run was over 1,000% with about 193 million, and there was no short squeeze on it. That had nothing to do. It was all investor.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, and
well,
they don't.
I mean, this wasn't a huge run. I mean, 55 cents to like 60 something cents, because it just hit its 52-week low yesterday. So.
Right, and when a stock hits a 52-week low, there are shoppers. There are people who trade low bubbles. They then go check the fundamentals. And if it's a value, if there's stock equity, if the company has something in line to happen, they'll pick up shares super duper cheap because they're patient. They know they're going to make money. That's a Warren Buffett play right there.
Yeah, but before that, its 52-week low was 76 cents. It hit that a few times. We even hit that. So, I mean, people probably thought that this was a low. This was a new low. I mean, it jumped up, but it came back down.
Well, looking at the SMAs don't show me any hope. They look like they're still pushing down, and I would expect the price to turn and start falling some more.
It definitely could. This just doesn't look good to me. To me, it looks like a bear flag, especially on the 4-hour or the daily. And it just looks like it dropped, and we're just kind of going sideways.
I wouldn't talk about it. It
just like this one down, and then it kind of went sideways, down. I mean, maybe this could, if you're going to be real hopeful, you could say this could be maybe the start of a cup and handle. But I mean,
well, that's what I'm thinking is that low, that ultimate low. Well, as you said, it keeps making ultimate lows. And I like to remind people of that. You can't say this low bubble made it move because the one before it didn't, and the one before it didn't. So what's so special about this one? So unless it is a very particular break of a 52-week or 3-year low, I don't count on low bubbles being anything special except a
Right.
telltale sign of sinking. Bubbles. Bubbles coming up. Something's sinking. Yeah, that looks pretty bad to me right now. If you're
Mm-hmm.
holding it, maybe it's a good time to average down, but I'd make
Could
sure
be.
that it's going to go sideways at least. It doesn't have to climb, but quit
That's
falling.
what I think. Yeah. I mean, but one piece of news could make something really move, but we can't really predict that. So
We can't.
we'll see.
No, we can't. You got me up. I'm ready to go.
Yep.
This comes from S. Veg Smith, another regular and steady. I appreciate you regulars and steadies. GRLT Grillet Inc. Finished today at 0004. This would be off my radars. I wouldn't even look at it because it just doesn't meet my criteria of 0005. She had a decent day. She went up 33%. Not a lot of hard work. That was only going up 0001. She is on the pink limited tier, meaning she's late on financials. She's got her verified information here, the only verified information you normally get unless you chose to be SEC reporting. I'm not sure if they are. Shell risk, that means they are in business, but they're not making any money. Now, I was reading, there were some laws that were changed here in the last year. When a company makes a deal and they close a deal, even though there's no money circulating in the business, there's something about the transaction of the deal that puts them in business. Even though they're not dealing with consumers or customers, that makes them in business. So automatically they become a shell risk just because they closed a deal. So that could be the situation here, or they could be in business and just not making any money. So what is Grillet about? Grillet creates and develops early stage brands, expansion financings, baby boomer buyouts, and recapitalizations. Our vision is to be the preferred catalyst to build great brands, as well as technology supporting the various industries. Sounds pretty wide open to me. So starting over here with the news, let me see, 1, 2, 3. We got 3 pieces of news here that we're going to tag into. I wanted you to notice that Grillet had entered into a deal back in August of 2022 to acquire Global A Brands. Then here in March of 2024, they terminate the deal. What? You mean you didn't close it? That's a long time for a deal to be hanging out there. And then they decide not to close it March of this year. Just irks me a little bit. Then they made another deal here in May. Grillet Inc. and Whiskey Hill Smokehouse sign a letter of intent for joint venture agreement with Natural Pet Food. We're going to take a peek at that one. And then we got a shareholder update here. So the piece of news that came out on May 29th, the primary objective of this joint venture with Whiskey Hill Smokehouse is to develop and produce natural dog food and other premium pet food products, leveraging Whiskey Hill's existing equipment and facilities. They've got facilities they're not putting into use. So they looked for somebody who said, can you use our factory? You got anything we can make over here? And that's what they're doing. The 2 companies are getting together and working together just to do this. These high quality products will be distributed within the United States, marking a significant milestone in both companies' growth trajectories. Grillet is looking to redesign their brand from the past decade and move beyond traditional brick and mortar retail locations. Then on July 9th, just a couple days ago, Grillet, let me get the headline. Wait a minute. Okay. Let me make sure we got it here. All right, it is right. This is the 9th. Grillet remains committed to establishing a strong presence in the premium pet food market. We continue to finalize the previously announced joint venture with Whiskey Hill Smokehouse. Glad to hear it. To develop a line of natural dog food. Additionally, we are actively engaged in negotiations with other potential partners to expand our offerings in this high growth sector. Maybe they're looking for more facilities to just start using their factories. We are working diligently with our legal team to update the attorney letter. That's where I got that information. With the current information for year-end 2023, completing this final step is crucial for achieving pink current status. So what they're saying is over here, when you file your annual report, it must be done with an attorney letter. An attorney letter has to come out with it because you don't have a CPA looking at it. Now, it's not that the attorney looks at the numbers. It's more about the legality of it, just that they were filed kind of like a certified public, Who's that guy that stamps stuff for you when you sign something and he says, "Oh yeah, I'll stamp that for you"?
Notary.
That's it. I got you on Jeopardy. We can make some money there. Yeah, just like that. So they're just pretty much rubber stamping it. And once that attorney letter gets in, the annual report is normally accepted. And then everything goes back to normal. And that will go back to pink. And that in itself can be a catalyst if people are watching the stock, because that's a slippery slope. You get to here, you can end up on the expert market. And that's just horrible. Last piece of news we got to look at. This just came out today. Grillet and Premier Inc. are excited to announce the signing of a letter of intent to merge the assets of Grillet Inc. with the private equity real estate investment firm. This merger further supports the transformation of Grillet into a multi-dimensional business that participates in real estate financing, corporate spinouts, management buyouts, recapitalizations, industry consolidations, and early-stage financings. The letter of intent outlines the key terms of the proposed merger, which values Premier at $30 million and is expected to close late third quarter 2024. Now, I thought I read in the comments that they thought it was $50 million. And if it's $50 million for something else, I missed the something else. Here they say $30 million. The merger will allow Grillet to add significant business expertise and management from the team of Premier in real estate investments, tokenization, blockchain technology, as well as access to greater resources to fuel acquisitions and product development. So they've got a lot going on here. They've got multiple deals in play. One of them is for pet food. Another one is for real estate, but obviously there's more involved here than just real estate. So let's take a look at the relative volume for Grillet. People taking to that news? Hell yeah, they are. Woo! Yeah, that's a lot of volume. She kicked up from 67 million to almost a half a billion today. That's a huge jump, folks. And we're on the OTC market. Now, folks, I got to do this. We're going to refresh this page. Thank God for that. Here is the total volume today on the entire OTC market for 12,344 companies. All of them had to divvy up 2.7 billion shares. Some got a little, some got a lot, some got nothing. This company got 452 million, almost a half a billion out of that 2.7. You're looking at 1, 4, 5. You're looking at virtually 1/5, 1/6 of all the shares on the market this company took. 1 out of 12,000 companies, and they got 1/6 of all the shares. It is something to consider, is it not? Share structure for the company. We got a lot of shares, folks. 3.8 billion, which is virtually everything they have authorized. They have 4.4 billion authorized. 22 million is owned by the insiders. So we've got over 3.5 billion shares in our float. They could do a reverse stock split. You normally don't see stocks down in the triple zeros do it. We did see one do it not too long ago. I think it was Song. I think Song did a reverse stock split. It was huge. Oh my God, it took it from a sub penny stock up to like $15, $30. I mean, it was a huge one, gigantic. Now I don't even talk about Song anymore. So they could do a reverse stock split and get this price up. You normally see that when a stock starts running towards a penny and it's gotten popular and it's been on a run for a few days. The management wants to cash in on that. Of course they do. Let's take a look at the financials for Grillet. Oh, all right. Now, this could be exactly what I was saying. As soon as you make a deal with the company, you are qualified for being in business. You've got a company, you're in business, but we're not doing anything yet. I don't care. You're in business. You got to start paying for that. Well, they're not in business. You can see they're not making any revenues. We got nothing coming in. Go down to the balance sheet. Come on. They got nothing in the bank. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, all the way down. Only thing we got is liabilities. It's kind of high, but what do you expect for a startup company? You got to put some money out. You want to start up a business. Good luck if you don't. So we got $1.6 million. We, the investors, are holding for them while they get this startup company going. They say they got 2 deals into play that's going to put them into real estate, blockchain, tokenization, cryptocurrency, and pet food. Pet food seems to be a very big deal these days. So that is pretty much everything I have got to show you. I think Taylor's got something even sweeter.
Yeah, I do, sort of. Okay, so we looked at this 6 weeks ago, and it was reaching a high of 0004, and all these lines were already drawn. So I love that. I love that I don't have to do anything with that. So we were kind of at this low of this really good support here of the 0001, and then this was 0002, and then 3, and then 4. So we were kind of, I mean, it's not exactly barcodey. I mean, it was kind of like, you know, it was showing some movement. So we saw it last here. It was kind of in between these two. We reached a high of this, and I said, "Oh, we need to break this, obviously, because that's the high." So we
Good.
came back down, and 0003 became the resistance, and then you can see after, let's see, this was the 9th, and today we had this increase in volume, not quite as much as it was back here at the end of May, but still pretty good compared to all of this down here. And yeah, we did break that. We went all the way up to a high of 0005 now, so that's really good. Let's go to the 1 hour and see what we're looking like. Yeah, so we're like holding right above that 0004, which was the resistance that I was saying that we needed to cross before, and that's good. I love it when that works out.
Yeah, it looks sweet. I mean, I'd have thought you knew something in advance because that's a perfect landing.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, all these lines were already drawn. It was pretty easy. It was 0001, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4. So
there's one line you really can only use, isn't there?
right. So I mean, yeah, it was pretty easy to draw those lines, but that's okay. It's fine if it's easy like that.
Yeah, we're not going to give away our secret.
So it looks good here with the EMAs lining up. We've got the 9, 21, 50, 200, and that's on the 1 hour. And it kind of looks like a little bull flag right now. If we can just hold above that 0004, maybe just like, we
And
wigged
what
back
I
down
see
a few
there
times.
is she's going sideways when she could have
It's
easily
fine.
fallen,
Yep.
waiting for that support to come from the SMA. It'll give her
Yep.
something to put her feet on and jump off of. You can't jump off air. You got to wait for something to get underneath you when you run out of fuel. So that isn't looking bad. It is
No.
definitely worthy of watching. And I
Yeah,
like
for
the
sure.
deals. I like the deals. They are diversified. Looks all good to me. So I'm going to put this on my watch list. I probably won't make an entry right now. I got a lot of things in the fire right now, but I'm
Right.
going to put this one on my watch list. Thanks for bringing it to us. I appreciate it. How much time we got? Oh, look at this. It isn't even 5 o'clock yet. I'm feeling good. All right. Next stock. Oh, this one won't take too long. Nothing personal. Who brought this one to me? Let's see if I
The
can.
underdog.
Underdog. I'm not going to say it. I always say it when I say underdog. All right. This is Discount Print USA. We have looked at this a few times. I covered this about a year ago. Yeah, roughly a year ago. There is no new news. Since I covered it a year ago, there's no new news, and we've looked at it a few times since then, and there's no new news. But they are growing in their business simply because they've established brick and mortar businesses out there. It's not like they put themselves online and they're waiting for customers to find them because there's a lot of competition online. And that's what they discovered. So they decided to go out there and start putting out these specialty print shops. They would find convention centers and then put a print shop right next to the convention center where they could make your hats, your bumper stickers, your t-shirts, whatever. And they made it so that when people came in to sign up for a convention and get their space, they saw them and they got all their business there. And they've been doing that with the banners and all sorts of things. They've got this all down here. You can see entering a $30 billion market, web to print, $50 billion market, global event exhibition, 10 billion banner printing, 50 billion convention industry. And that's what they started doing. And last time I took you on over to their website, you can go to their website. It'll bring you up a map, show you all their dots. There's a lot of them. They're on the entire country from the east to the west and in the center. So they did what they said they were going to do. They were going to start putting them out there, and they were giving us big numbers. Sounded ridiculous to me, but they are in motion doing that. As I said, though, there is no new news. Let's see if we had any new disclosures. Probably not, or I'd have pulled it up. Well, we've got this, but this wasn't exactly what I thought it was. This is a 13D 13G. 13Ds and Gs are new investors coming in, but they invest so much they own a percentage of the company and actually become owners. Can't remember which is which, 13G or 13D. One is a silent investor, just wants you to take his money and capitalize on it. The other one wants a voice in the company. Well, we've got Quick Capital that came in here, and they got 10% of the company, but they don't tell us over here how many shares. It says 0. What the heck is that about? So I came down here trying to read up on this, and I couldn't find the information I really needed. This is all I could get. The reporting person has the obligation to acquire up to 9.9% of the outstanding shares of the company pursuant to the terms of an $8,888 convertible note dated July 29th. I don't know what that means. So that's really all I got to share with you over here, folks, for new information. Take a look at the relative volume. She's hanging tight. We're normally doing 6.6 million. Today she did 6.2 million. She finished today at 0017. Sorry about that. She is pink. Verified information. Share structure. Please be good. Average. 319 million outstanding. Insiders got some. 26 million. We get all the rest. 292 million. Market cap. Look at how low that is. Under $500,000. Financials. Is it paying off? You know, I wonder, do they pay rent on every building, or did they build those buildings themselves? Because that's got to be a huge expense one way or the other. If they build them, they become assets. You know, you own the property. But if you got to pay lease or rent on every one of those establishments, that's got to be one heck of a bill. It doesn't look like they're doing a whole heck of a lot of business for all the establishments they got. Looking over the last 4 years, 37,000, 66, 300, and 360. Really? They are bringing home profit, but nothing to brag about. And even their most current quarterly reports aren't showing any big growth. God, I wonder if this is going to be a bust for the company, because they really had to do some big investment getting into this. What? Look at that balance sheet. We got zero money in the bank. They have no investments. They've got nothing owed to them. Really? You would think a printing business would have something owed to them from some big contracts they had. Total assets, woohoo, a whole $24,000. Total liabilities is like 15 to 20 times that. It's not huge, but, you know, relatively speaking, it's a big change, 482,000, and we're holding it. We're supporting this company right now. And that's it, folks. There is nothing more I could tell you about this company. If I did, I'd be making it up. So let's go see some real facts on the chart.
Okay, let me get the new. Okay, here we go. So,
That doesn't look
we've
bad.
looked at this a few times. Looks like April 18th and June 20th, and now we're on July 11th. So I'm on the daily chart. All these lines were already drawn, so that's good that I didn't have to do all that again. This is 001. This one was 0018, and this was 002. So this was the last time I looked at this. I had this one marked off 0018. As you can see, it's come to it several times on the daily chart, and on the 4 hour even more. Look at all this. Even today went all just to that line. I think I drew this one just as like, hey, this might be the next level. Looks like we hit it the end of June, the last week of June. So it hit it, but it came right back down. But the good news is for this one that it looks like it did come back down to this 001 support area and then came right back up. So it is in the middle of those two lines, which is what I had drawn out before. Must have been either from this one. I'm guessing it was from this state back
It's
in June.
looking healthy, and I like your oscillators at the bottom. Everything is on a rise.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, these are looking. I have
the
fixed
4 hour.
these.
Yeah, it's looking good on
the
the
4
4
hour.
hour.
Yeah, and the 4 hours are a really good one to look at because you can get a better feel for what's going on if this is a longer term thing.
It cuts the day in half. You got 2 parts of the day, you know, and that's really good to look at. Morning time versus afternoon time. Sometimes you notice the stock falls in the afternoon over and over again. Well, don't average down in the afternoon, sell in the morning.
Yeah, then I usually will drop down to the 1 hour and see what's going on. So you can see it kind of like went down a little bit under the 200 here on the 1 hour and then came right back up. So this was this was pre-market yesterday. This would have been during the day yesterday, pre-market today, and then this was all day today. So you can see it went from this 001 all the way up to the 0018 today.
I like that. You've got all the SMAs going across the 50,
yeah.
turning the 50 up. I think that's getting ready to do another push up. I don't know
Yeah.
how far she's going to go, but that looks like she's ready to climb to me. I like that chart a lot.
Yeah, I would expect it to go up to the 002 again and
Yeah.
maybe even hold it this time. Like
Yeah, well, it hit it so many times. It's like it's
it did.
breaking the ice. I'm
These
getting
two.
through here. Yeah, yeah. So
Up
I'm
here it
thinking
did.
she's going to probably get on top of that and then come back down to it and then bounce on the top. So you'd want to grab your gains just above it. You
Yeah.
know, I've had some options that I've been playing here, and the Apple has been moving nicely for me. I've gotten in the habit of getting out while it was still climbing. I don't know where the top is, and I'm tired of trying to find it. So I'm taking gains, and out of 13 plays, I've only had one loss. 12 plays have been wins because I've been taking gains, not waiting for them to run out, taking them and saying, I don't care how much more it goes. I just wanted something. Boy, is it nice to get something virtually every time. I love it. Oh, all right, fine. We are back here for my turn. We're looking at Vulcan now. Vulcan comes to us from Jerome Horace. Did I skip one? No, Mark Ryan. Wait a minute. We didn't talk about this one, did we? Jerome, we're coming to yours. Promise. Right now, we are going to look at Mark's. This is KZIA, Kazia Therapeutics.
There we go.
Finished the day at $1.24. Ooh, she's up 85% today. I do believe she had a bigger jump than that today. She's on the NASDAQ. Obviously, not obviously, therapeutics can be anything. She is a biotech pharmaceutical company, and she appears to be a research and development company, as far as I can tell. We've got two pieces of news here. But actually, there's a lot of news. This is when I first glanced at it. They've got a lot of things going on here. They've got multiple drugs at different phase trials, all of them working with some different type of cancer. They've got one back here in phase 1. They had a problem with their minimum bid price requirement. We'll see if there's a problem there in a minute. Kazia stock soars 142% on study results for brain cancer. That came out from Seeking Alpha today because of the news here for Paxilicib in glioblastoma, which is brain cancer. I guess they got really great results for their phase 2, phase 3 trial of this drug, which is a big deal. This is one of those cancers, there's nothing you can really do. I mean, you can't be putting radiation into your brain. You can't be doing chemo to the brain. You can't, surgery is virtually impossible most of the time. So you're just left until you're gone. So anything that you can get that's going to help is a big deal. And people are willing to pay big money for it. And the FDA helps push it through. It doesn't take as long because there's no other drug out there for it. People need it, and there's no competitors, so you don't have to fight to get to the head of the line and have your drug being pushed. You'll be the only one. What else did I find for this company? We got another 13 something here, 13G. This is Illumini Capital. They got themselves 3 million shares, which was 9.9% of the company. You want the details? They got a lot of details there about it. Don't think I had any more information here that I could share with you going on, except that they've had good trials, folks. And that's the thing with these research and development companies. They don't have any products to sell, so they don't have any revenues. They get their money from investors, whether it be the big whales or us. They got to have money coming in somewhere. So you get a lot of public offerings. Well, when news like this comes out for any of their drugs, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, you normally get a pop, a big pop. But because phase 1 has still got 4 or 5 more years to go, since phase 3 could have 6 months, a year, 3 years to go, you don't know. You don't know. So they pop and drop, and they pretty much stay at an even keel. And you don't see them really growing with anticipation. You just get a pop on the news and then back down to even keel, which is what we may see. I am not familiar with this company, so I don't know the stock. Take a look at the relative volume. Wow. Holy cannoli. Look at that. 188,000 shares a day. God, jumping to 222 million. That's over 100 times her normal volume, folks. That's a lot of attention. Share structure, decent. I was sure we are going to see a billion shares over here. 22 million shares outstanding. I don't know what the float is. Don't know what the insiders own. I know it's not going to be any higher than 22 million. Can't go more than the outstanding share count. And it could be considerably less. Market cap for the company, pretty low, 1.5 million. Financials for Kazia. Well, they were making money, stopped making money, and they made a whole $1,000 in 2023. The end of their fiscal year is June. Check out those quarterlies. We're not getting any quarterlies over here. It's not to say that they aren't filed. They may not. I don't know. It's on the NASDAQ. Let's see what we can see for the balance sheet. Well, they got cash. They got $3.5 million roughly. Total assets, about 18, 19 million. Total liabilities is less. Thank God for that. About 6.5 million. So we're actually owing positive stockholder equity in this R&D pharmaceutical company. That's surprising. 8 million. I don't believe we have any other filings over here. God, I love these 424s. There's lots of information that comes in these. That's going to be all right. I did read all these. Yeah, these at 6K, these are all about the new news that came out about the phase 2, phase 3 glioblastoma drug. There's lots of information about that, folks. So if you want to get into those, you can either read that one article or you can read these filings. There's more information in filings than there are in press releases. All right, Keziah is now on your plate there, Taylor.
Okay, sorry, I had the mic muted. I didn't even mean to. So, this is January 2024. So before I get to what it's doing now, I have to just show you. This is exactly why I start with the daily chart on almost all of these,
Okay.
especially, well, this is the 4-hour, but I marked these off on the daily chart. It's very similar. So anyway, I had marked off these levels. You can see how this top one at about $1.15 was resistance, support, resistance. That's why I marked that. And that was, before here. And then this one was the low right here. So I marked this support. Then I marked this as the other low at 30 cents. So this is 50 cents and this is $1.15. Now you can see what happened after we looked at it, came right to this. This was support.
Well, look at that.
Look, it just barely, it came right to that, like a penny off.
Wow.
And then it busted through that. So this was like perfect levels. This is why you look at those, like the past.
They call me the wizard?
Because look how perfect this worked out. Like, I mean, it was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, a little fairy dust on your charts there. You want to put some of that on mine? That's
pretty
sweet.
crazy. Yeah, I mean, look how it respected these. I mean, even this one down here, this 30 cents one, it was right at this. Look at the resistance right there. Crazy. I love when it works out like that.
Wow,
So anyway,
look at that news. I mean, she
this
was
is
on a
what's
down
going on
point.
now. Yeah. So obviously we've had a big spike in volume, which has caused this craziness. It looks like the day before the news, we were at like way down here at like 20 cents, 19 cents. And now we're up. Looks like after hours we're at $1.24, $1.25. So
wow, that's 600% up.
that's crazy. So let's look at the 1 hour. Look at this. My goodness. Everything is just ripping.
Wow.
So,
There's a key word for you folks. You go to Google and you put in glioblastoma, public company. Any news comes out about it, that's a stock you want to look at, obviously. God.
Yeah. And look, this is the 1 hour, and look how spread apart these are here. 9, 21, 50, 200. I mean, it just completely. And then before that, we were under the 200. You can see on the 1 hour, just below that. And then now it just, all of these, look at all those golden crosses just here, here, here. And then, yeah.
It actually still looks good.
Yeah, it does. This looks extremely bullish. Here we go. Look at all this. So this started, I guess it was yesterday. Yesterday, pre-market. This will be pre-market.
Yep.
This is during the day. Wednesday, this is after hours. So pre-market during the day. So right now, after hours, we're kind of coming up even a little bit more. Yeah. So this is looking really good. It's bullish on all accounts here. We got like 9, 21, 50, 200, which is even more with, on the 15-minute. Looking really, really strong for now. But the only thing I worry about is, I mean, this is a one that's on the Nasdaq, but I do worry that this could be like a pump and dump, buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. I can't say that it is, but
Well, I wouldn't say that because we're dealing with the FDA. We're dealing with cancer. It's a very serious thing. I don't think anybody's trying to pull their wool over our eyes. I think it's big.
no, no, I'm not saying that necessarily. I'm just saying
I
a
just
lot of times, if big news comes out and this runs, then a lot of people might sell that have been.
Well, I see. Look at your volume down at the bottom. That is all buy volume. Even though it's getting less and less and less, it's still strong enough. And we just had another bar that's climbing right now as we're talking. I can see it moving.
It just started. Yeah, this is the. I don't know if this one's delayed or not. I think it might be. So this just started. So this 15-minute bar just opened up.
Yeah, so it is looking very strong.
It does. Yeah,
it's definitely one to put on your watch list. Now, whether you want to enter it now or wait for a dip. She seems to come down to the 50 on that chart over and over again.
Oh yeah, here it is here. And this is the 15, by the way, again. So
I would, 15-minute, wait for it to come down to the 50 before you buy in. If you think
just be aware that this has run 600% within 2 days.
Right,
so
but in all
some kind of pullback.
Yeah, and the price is reflective of more than just the news. It's supposed to be reflective of the fundamentals. So we have to be careful that we don't get the price beyond the value of the company, because then it's going to adjust, and it's going to adjust on your head if you've been in it. So we want to take gains, unless of course you like the stock for a long hold, then you want to get yourself some. But right now may not be the best time to buy it if you're looking for a long hold.
Right.
As I said, after good news, it normally drops. This is holding up a lot longer than most of your pharmaceutical companies. Every morning I post news, and every morning there's at least a dozen pharmaceutical companies that have news come out, and a lot of them jump, but most of them come right flat back down that day.
That same day. Okay, yeah. This has held up for the last 2 days, so that's promising. Very promising. In fact, it's only going up since yesterday. So that's crazy. Awesome.
Proof is in the market hours, still climbing.
It is. Yep. Love it.
So we're liking that one for a lot of reasons.
Thanks for that one. That was fun to watch, and that was fun to check those levels that I had marked off from January. I like that.
We are now looking at Vulcan. This is ticker VLCN. Vulcan came to us from Jerome Horace. You weren't late, Jerome. Vulcan, she finished today at $3.74. She is on the NASDAQ. So what does Vulcan do? Well, they're based out of Austin, Texas. They are the first all-electric power sports company producing high-quality, sustainable electric vehicles for outdoor community. Are we talking like golf carts? Vulcan electric vehicles are the future of off-roading. That's not a golf cart. Well, it's not on the road, but you wouldn't take a golf cart off-roading, really. Not only because of their environmental benefits, but also because of their near-silent operation. Yeah, you can crash into deers on the path now. They don't hear you coming. That's not great. All right, I wanted to see over here. As you can see, I brought this up because I wanted to show you they just effected a 1 in 100 reverse stock split on June 6th. It just happened. That's a big deal. Hair in the mouth. You got to figure it happens with all of this. Sorry about that. I wanted to go see something here. What were we checking? Oh, I wanted to see exactly.
Oh, by the way, speaking of stock splits, we had one in February as well, one for 45. So there's been 2 this year.
I just remembered what Vulcan is. Vulcan has the little grunt and the runt. The grunt and the runt is what I remember. Yeah, these are the grunts and runts. They're 2 cycled motorcycles with big balloon wheels. A big one, the grunt, and the little one, the runt. We heard that.
Sorry. It's not you guys, I promise.
And then, of course, they've got some more little guys here, the Vulcan Brat and the Stag Reservation. So these are the vehicles that they're making. Had another piece of news over here. Announces reverse stock split. Vulcan. And all right, this is what I wanted to show you. They had a public offering here, a direct offering. Oh, good. Good, much better. A registered direct offering. A public offering are shares coming to me and you. A direct offering isn't for me and you. That's for other people. That's for others that have to buy those. And a lot of times I think it actually does here, because what we had with that reverse split, it pulled the share count way down. We're under a 500,000 here. And on the NASDAQ, you can't have a float anything less than 1 million. You don't have enough shares in your float, they'll literally kick you off of the major exchange down to the OTC for that. So this is an easy problem to fix. You just have a public offering, or you get more shares on the market. And that's what they've got to do. They've got to put more shares on the market, or they're going to be in trouble. So after the reverse split, we're going to have more shares come back out. But at this very moment, we have a very, very low float. I don't know what it is, but it ain't any higher than 331,000. And what was the relative volume today? Go ahead, divide 338,000 into 28 million. I could do it. I could pull up my calculator. Don't tempt me. I'm telling you what, that's got my saliva
Might as
juices
well do
running.
it at this point.
At this point, okay, I'm going to pull. I don't think you guys can see this, but I'll read it out for you, okay? I am taking my 28,986,348, and we are dividing that by 348,000. Oh, I'm not going to believe this. And that comes out to 76.27. So that means every share had to sell 76 times today. Folks, I can't even fathom that. This stock should have had a nice run today. But there is obviously a lot of volume. There's a lot of attention. People are looking at this stock with a jump like that. We have gone up 14 times her normal volume. Share structure was super duper low. Financials, they're hardly making any money. 500,000 in 2021. Well, that was COVID. That's understandable. Coming out of COVID, 4.5. They dropped down to 3.2. It's costing them a lot of money to make that money, and they're losing twice as much as they're making. Losing twice. They're losing what they're making, and then on top of that, twice much more. It's a lot of money, folks, and it ain't getting better. The quarterly reports aren't breaking 1 million barely, and they're they're losing a lot of money. That's kind of scary, folks. Their balance sheet, we've got 3.6 million in the bank, 17 million in assets. Whew, I thought this was going to be a big number. 13.5 million in liabilities. We've actually got positive stockholder equity here, surprisingly. But God, look at this, folks. That has just come from nowhere. She has been way down there these last couple of quarters. Way, way down there. And now we've got positive stockholder equity. It's got something to do with this retained earnings here. All these numbers up here, and then it jumped hard here. And I think that 20 million is the 20 million difference. It's given us something there, but I don't understand it. But it looks like we have something. Phone's ringing. Get out of here.
I was like, that's not mine.
I forget to turn it off, but nobody ever calls me except spam. Spam on the phone. Isn't that brilliant? All right, let's see here. We are over here at the filings. Form 4s are when, right, this was an interesting one. Form 4s are filed whenever an insider buys shares of the company's common stock or sells them or gets them or loses them. They move them. Well, I'm guessing UBS is an insider in some form or another, and they've done a lot here. Lots of little itty bitty purchases. What the heck is that? One. This looks like my charts when I'm watching the sales go through and I see people buying one stock at a time. It's like, you're screwing up the MACD with that. Cut it out. Then we got a bunch of sales here. Well, I'm not quite sure what all this is. It says by subsidiary here, so it was an insider. UBS Group is a subsidiary of this company, obviously. And they tell us down here, this statement is filed jointly by UBS Group for the benefit on behalf of UBS Securities. UBS is a owned subsidiary. Now, this part I don't understand. Per section 16, short swing profit rules, total loss resulting from all trades while UBS Group was a 10% insider was $120 to $289 as a loss was realized. There are no profits to disgorge to the issuer. I have no idea, folks. This is something I've never seen before, but that just came out. I don't think it's going to make a whole heck of a lot of difference to us. Outside of that, I really don't know what to tell you. She's at $3.74. She went up just a little bit today, 3%, and she is on the NASDAQ. Outside of that, we're going to look to Taylor.
Okay, well, I got something funny to show everybody, but it's not really funny. So, okay, you mentioned this stock split here, the 1 for 100 back in the first week of June.
Yeah.
There was also February 1 for 45, and there was also back in October 1 for 5. So if you just happen to be like me and you're looking at the daily chart and you see anything before this stock split, so there's 3.
Yeah, that
it's
comes
gonna
out.
look it's gonna look like we're what?
I think it's 2,245. You have to multiply every number times. You got to multiply all those reverse splits out and then multiply it, and that's stupid.
Yeah, because if you're on TradingView, it's going to show that this was worth $14,500. So please don't think that that's what it really was, because it wasn't. This is the adjusted version. Okay,
yeah.
So
for those of you who don't know what an adjusted chart is, the first day a stock split happens, you see that big green bar where they push the price up. Well, that gets absorbed back down into a flat bar, and they push it into the history and multiply every number by the reverse split. And then that is compounded with all the other reverse splits. A 1 in 100 is multiplied times 45, which is multiplied by 10. And all those numbers get multiplied. And, and it sticks that way. A year from now, it's going to say $14,000 was the high for this company. And a new investor isn't going to know any difference. It isn't.
Yeah, if you haven't been exposed to these, especially these reverse splits, and you just happen to, this could come back up to 14,000 a share. No. Just please be aware of what's going on. So let's go to the chart here. So anything beyond this, it's real numbers. So, this is what's going on now. Oh, here we are. We're down here. It looks like this is our 52-week low, 336. Let me check. 335. Close enough. Okay, I was close. I checked another source real quick, and looks like we hit that the end of June. We bounced up. It did come up a little bit more than here, but it looks to me like, we're seeing lower lows or lower highs. We are hitting that support. It's hit it like 2 or 3 different times at this 335. That was the 52-week low. So that could be a good time to buy, but we're just at 372. So that's, it's a percentage gain.
The way I see this chart, she is looking righteous to me. She had that initial breakout. The initial one doesn't normally run. That normally comes back down, finds a strong set, and then jumps. Now, that second jump, I would have expected it to break out, but the SMAs weren't right yet. That big push up gave it a chance. The very last jump, the very last one there is set the SMAs now. It jumped so high that it's yanked all the SMAs that were falling just before it, starts to turn them up. Now, it has come back down. I think that's going to be the bounce point. Right where it's sitting right now, I think it's going to jump and get on top because all of our SMAs are flat. There's nothing there to worry about.
Yeah, they're all flat. Well, now the problem is with the 200, it's going to be way up here because of all that other BS that was going on with the stock split. So you're going to have to just ignore that one. There's nothing I can do about that. It's going to be way up there. So we can work with these, though. So this is the 9, and the green is the 21, and the yellow is the 50. Let's look at the 1 hour. Looks like we came up and we came right back down to this level here. This is a little bit higher than the all-time low. Looks like it's right 359. Right now we're at 371. So we could bounce off, like you said, that new level. It's a little bit higher than the 336. So that might have been what you're talking about there.
Creating a support there. She's making it. Right at those last red bars, those last 4 bars are going sideways now. It stopped falling. That's the first trend change. It's not going to always be a perfect bounce. As long as she stops falling and goes sideways, there's hope. So right now, it looks like she is working. Everything isn't perfect. I'm just saying it's worth a watch now. Yeah.
Whoops, my mic got muted again. Sorry.
I was going to say.
It just automatically muted itself. The only potential that I could see that would go the opposite of what you're saying would be this could be the start of a reverse cup and handle. If this were to come up a little bit, like maybe to here, we could see more downside. So, but a lot of that had to do with the volume. So, I mean, it came up and then came back down. So, I mean, it could go either way. This could be a bounce point, like you were saying, like this right here, like around the 359, 360 area. Or we could see a reverse cup and handle and see lower lows even more. So, well, 15-minute. Oh, well, it is pretty flat.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely creating a support. Yeah. And that's what
why it's good to look at all the time frames just so you can really see what's going on. Because, I mean.
Absolutely. Yeah, they all have value because they all have a different perspective. And every perspective gives you information. And you know what I say? The more you know, the more you grow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess if you were including all of these, some people don't include the pre-market hours, but right here you can kind of see this head and shoulders forming, and you would be like, I'd get out right here because
that's a perfect head and shoulders.
See that here? Yeah, right here, here.
Yeah, absolutely. But now it looks like a time to consider watching it. If she starts to turn up, what I think you need to see on that 15-minute chart, we had our 20 right up underneath. All of the SMAs were right except the 9. Well, the 9 moves fast. The 9 can correct itself very quickly.
Yes.
So I'm thinking this is one to watch. And I think tomorrow we could see something happen in the later part of the morning. That would give this thing time to get the SMAs to move, and then she'd run. Definitely worth a watch, in my opinion. Although I don't see a lot going on. The chart looks okay.
You can see there is a lot of movement in the after hours and pre-market hours. Then it just completely died during the day today. Like, wow. This is during trading hours.
Oh yeah, that's as soon as all the people that don't trade pre-market aftermarket came 9:30 in the morning, saw, look how high it is, and they started selling because they've been down for so long. It's like, this is my opportunity to get out of here. But whatever got it running may be the same thing that gets it running again. It may be another buy opportunity down at that exact same price where she started from, or she could just get stuck there. She could.
Very interesting chart. Yeah, I like to look at these interesting ones. It's not just barcodey. So thank you, Jerome, for bringing that one.
I think we're going to squeeze one more in. CTXR. Before I jump into CTXR, wanted to mention to Dave Allett. I am still in Maxon. That was that very highly shorted stock that was volatile with over 500 million shares being sold in 4 days. I did a video on it. I took my own advice, lost 25% of my investment that day. And it's like, you know what? I volunteered to get into a company that has a lot of opposition, people that want the stock to fall. Worse yet, they're paid to make the stock fall. We have to find money to push the price up. They're given money to push the price down. So when you weigh up who's probably going to win that game, I think shorters are. It's going to come up. It's going to get pushed down. And worse than that, as a day trader, I don't want my money tied up. So Maxon's been hanging on to my money, and she's been down. But we're being told over here right now that we're getting some activities after market. I haven't peaked yet. It's something to look forward to. And Rodney, those Qs and Fs. Yeah, Fs are for foreign companies. Qs are for bankruptcies. These are all on the OTC markets. They may have started up on the NASDAQ. They got thrown down to the OTC for being bankrupt. There are only some companies that sell them. I can't tell you all. I know Schwab sells them. I know TD Ameritrade sells them. I don't know of any others simply because I don't trade on any other brokers. So let's take a look at CTXR. I didn't get a chance to do any preliminary work here, so you're going to have to fly with me the way I would normally do this. I normally come on over here and just start on one side of the page and work over. I'm very anal that way. CTXR is volume. Now, first off, CTXR is a biotech company. I was invested in CTXR back when they had their news about a cancer drug that was FDA approved, and they were waiting for, let's see, that's 2017. Come down. It is another very serious cancer. We got to go back further. It isn't going to go back far enough. I can't remember which one it was, but they got their drug approved, and then they had to pay the fee to the FDA to get a license to go sell their drugs. You didn't used to have to do that. It became a new thing for the FDA to make money. Well, they got disapproved. I got in for that. I thought it was going to run when they got their yes, where they got a no. And the stock fell, and it's been falling hard. My brother-in-law has been in it, so I've been keeping up with him. 70 cents, he keeps telling me. But we're waiting. I think it was October that they were supposed to have their second opportunity. You have to wait 6 months before you can reapply for that license. And that's the only reason I would get back in, because it is a drug that there's no competition for. It is the first of its kind out there for this cancer. God, I can't remember which one it was. So they finished today at 77 cents, up 3.5%, and they too are on the NASDAQ. Their volume today was up about double, almost, from 1.9 million to 3.6 million. Share structure on the company isn't all that bad. 180 million outstanding. Insiders don't own much. They don't own much at all. But I don't know how many insiders there are. There could be only 4 insiders. And when you start looking at the price of the stock, well, maybe that's a lot of shares. We get the rest, 140 million. Market cap, 134 million. Financials for the company. This is a pharmaceutical R&D, research and development. They need money. Constantly got to have money coming in to keep doing what they're doing. So they've got nothing on the books. Ooh, they got lots of money, thank God. They better tap into that before they tap into us. That's 12.5 million in the bank, 90 million in assets. That's good for an R&D. Only 11 million in liabilities. Hot dog, folks. We're holding 80 million. Us, the shareholders, 80 million in stockholder equity in this company. Take a look at the news before we jump into disclosures. News is a little easier to read. 2017, the most recent news came out yesterday. The company's details near-term milestones for late-stage candidates. Okay. They've got a lot of different drugs. What do we got here? First and only advantage of Minoloc with no current FDA-approved or investigational products. Lympher expected to be additive to current treatment options. I don't know what they're talking about. We'll have to dive in more there, right? Strong momentum expected from positive top-line results of phase 3 Minoloc trials. That's when most people like to look at these companies, phase 3. It's the last trial. And if there's no competitors, if they've got fast track or orphan designation, they're going to get through phase 3 quick. And when they come out and get approved, just the approval news is going to get that bad boy running. Then, of course, they got to apply for their license. And if that gets approved, that'll get it running. And then they're on the market making money. And that's going to get them moving. So there's a lot of catalysts after that third phase. So we've got a third phase right there. Today announced expected milestones in the second half of calendar 2024 and recapped key achievements. So if you're interested in this company, if you haven't already, I'm sure you guys have read the news if you're into the stock. This has got a lot of information. Was there any other news over there we need to consider? Not since last month. A virtual conference. That was one online. Investor call. Good. They're talking to their people. Phase 3. All right. So we don't have any other news here. Let's go check those disclosures. 8K. That was quite a while ago. So we've got nothing here. So that is basically all the information we've got on the company right now. I would see if you can find PDUFA. That's what they call it. PDUFA is the license. They have to apply for that. You may want to put in CTXR, PDUFA, and see what dates come up. There was a letter that actually gave a date for when the next one they could apply for. So you can see when you can line up for the next hopeful run like I was doing. I'm out of CTXR now. I do believe my brother-in-law got out too. He's been playing much bigger stocks here recently. He got into NVIDIA after that reverse stock split. Almost got into Chipotle. Just got out of SMCI, which is one of the bigger, it's $1 trillion company too. He's having fun. These companies are doing well right now. All right. You ready to cover CTXR in the charts there for us, Taylor?
Sure.
Tried to buy you some time.
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. I was just looking around at this.
That's why you're with me.
Okay, I was just marking off the 52-week low and 52-week high. So we got 48 cents down here, which was Wednesday the 3rd. And then we've got $1.27, which was way back here in July of 2023. So we just hit that like just a couple weeks ago, or yeah, that'd be no, last week, and then now we're kind of coming up here. I hate when it. Uh, I don't know. I don't hate it. It's all right. It's all right. Let's just see what it looks like on the 4 hour. All right, so this looks pretty decent.
Oh, that does. That looks nice.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Forget what I said. No, this is good. So it does look like it is trying to reverse. I was just kind of like, I was hoping it wasn't like one of those. Never mind. So we have kind of like a V-shaped recovery.
Yeah,
Those are fun. We got, look at this, golden cross, golden cross, golden cross, and then here's another one. That's
yeah, it looks
several. What,
nice.
4? So that's fun. This is on the 4 hour. So we have been, gosh, we've been steadily moving. But these are Heikinashi candles. I would be curious just to see. Yeah, wow. These are just regular candles. And look at that.
T-cell lymphoma. Thank you. God, isn't it nice when the word finally gets in your head? Lymphoma. That was the other cancer.
Yeah, got in your head. Someone else just told you. Just
Yes,
kidding.
thank you. This old guy doesn't find his words as fast as he used to.
Yeah, so it looks like right here was like a good resistance area here, and we just passed right by that. That was
Yeah, we
around
did.
71 cents.
Blew right through it without slowing down.
Yeah, perfect. So that's good. Would be nice to see it like really, really run, but I mean it is, but
It
one of
is.
these where we have a huge spike in volume and we have a big run. Like if you saw this on the
Well,
1 hour, you could see
well,
like a
the
big.
thing about but the thing about your big runs is the rocket stocks that run out of fuel and crash down to
Oh,
earth.
look at that.
Oh, but
It went right to it.
these slower climbs don't run out of fuel. They're able to drop down, get some more fuel, and take off. Where that last run you showed us, yeah, that was beautiful for a quick gain, but you better get out quick or you're stuck. And if
Well,
you
I
bought
thought
a
this
buy,
was a day trader's thing, so I was looking for the day traders. Look at this. So I marked that off because of these other levels, and look, on the 1 hour chart, went right to it. That's crazy. It's
no,
it
that's
used
talent. That's
that is
talent. You're good.
nice. I didn't even know that was going to happen because this is the first time I've ever looked at this chart. Promise. That was crazy because on the 4 hour you can't tell what it's going to do, but on the 1 hour, look at that. Oh, cool. Okay, I went right to it. So that's like our new support, I would say, right around here, like right on the top of that and the bottom of that. Look at that. So around 71 cents. I like that. We'll say that's our new support. But I don't know. We're only at what, 78 cents. So yeah, it's clear this has been climbing. We came back down here to the 21. We came back here to this support, was resistance for a long time.
Right.
Nice V-shaped recovery.
And as our viewer pointed out, we do have a catalyst coming up for August 13th, the PDUFA date for their other drug. So they do have a catalyst sitting on the board. And just putting that out there in the news, I think that's what got people excited. These PDUFAs are important. And if you get them, that means you're making money. And this company isn't making any money. They need to get a license. They need to get one of their drugs on the market. So this is hot. I would watch this. I mean, you could get some stupid runs out of this from just speculation. We have no promises or guarantees. It's just another decision. And that gives us a whole month to play this stock. Folks, you don't have to build up. You can play pops and drops. You know, if it's going to get volatile, play with it. Is this stock on the NASDAQ?
Yes.
Yes. So it's free to trade. So you can buy in and sell out as often as you want, as many shares as you want. You can buy one share at a time and try to push the price up if you want. I hate that, but a lot of people
from this low, that's a 50% gain or more.
That's outstanding because CTXR has not been looking good for a very long time.
Yeah, from here to here, from the very, very low, and you wouldn't know if that was going to be the low. So if you just happen to get in there, I mean, or just got in when it started to break like some of these levels here.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody just happening to get into CTXR at that point in time. There was nothing.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Or you saw it when it, like, you know, here, this level. That's still at least 20%, probably more.
I like it. It's looking,
like it too.
It's definitely worth watching. When a stock finally starts doing something good, don't turn your back on it. It doesn't
No.
hurt or cost you anything to watch it. And, you know, if you start seeing some good activity on it, you may want an entry position. I don't buy everything all at once because I don't know where the stock's going. And if it falls, I'm going to be pissed because I just lost money. But if it falls and I only bought some, this is an opportunity. Now I get to buy more at a better price. But of course, you only feel that if you've done your due diligence and you know what you're investing in. If you're investing on technicals, that's an entirely different game there, folks. I do a lot of technical plays. I play Apple a lot, the options. I don't know what the heck's going on. I don't look at its fundamentals or the news. I'm only watching that chart. And that's all that matters. That's really all that matters. Doesn't matter what news comes out. If it's good news and the chart falls, doesn't matter what the news was. The chart is falling. That's what I'm playing, not the news. I think that covers it.
Yep. About it.
Folks, I appreciate all the new people I seen here today. Rhodey Life came in. Nice to have you stop by. Russell Bishop. A little bit of religion never hurt anybody. Or is that chess? I'm not quite sure. Luke Farmboy, I appreciate all the extra info you brought in. I like you guys sharing info amongst each other. I like to throw it up on the screen, but please read the comments. You can pick up a lot of other due diligence that's been done by others. It's free. Get all the free stuff you can get. That's about it. If I missed your name, don't take it personal, folks. There's a lot here, and I'm trying to see everybody, but you know I love you all. I appreciate your time. Hope you appreciate what we're doing. Hope we actually make it worth your while, folks. We're going to do it again next week, Thursday. Me and Taylor will be here, and Taylor said maybe she'll make a guest appearance live in front of the camera.
I've done it before. I can do it again.
It has happened, folks, just like the game run. It has happened. All right, folks, we will see you next week. Same place, same time, same beard. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, I didn't end it. Oh, they got all of that.